How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another Skyrim video. Now, as always, before we get into this, I'll ask that you hit like on this video if you find it helpful or enjoyable, and if you want more content like this, then be sure to hit subscribe. Now, this video is going to be my immersive mods. It's just going to be a quick 5 immersive mods in no particular order, and 3 UI mods. The 3 UI mods that I'm going to be talking about really quickly is, obviously, the first one will be Sky UI. If you're not familiar with Sky UI, it's a very simple mod. It changes the inventory layout and your UI layout. It allows you to change the text by getting UI themes. It allows you to change icons and allows you to set hotkeys to certain things like potions or anything like that. You can do it all in Sky UI through their mod configuration. Their mod configuration is included in Sky UI and it helps you mod other mods or change settings in other mods, I should say. Next we're going to talk about is Immersive HUD. Immersive HUD basically allows you to control what you see on your screen at all times. So you can set it that your screen is always clear unless you're in combat. Once you go into combat, then your crosshair, compass, health bars, etc. will then come on. If that's how you want to set it up, you can set it up multiple ways through their mod configuration. On top of that, you can also change the transparencies. Obviously 100 would be full transparency. You could lower that to make them not as obscure. The last UI thing that we're going to talk about, UI related so to speak, would be Ordinator. Ordinator is a perk mod. It basically gives you 15 to 20 perks on each tree, and each perk will be completely unique. Unlike normal Skyrim, where you would only get 8 to 10 perks per tree, with only one of them perks, the top perk, being in any way, shape, or form unique. Now we're going to get into our gameplay immersive mods, so mods that make gameplay more immersive for me. Starting off this list is going to be a mod called Lawbringer. Now, Lawbringer is very good at what it does. And what that is basically if you go to a tower that is controlled by bandits or a fort or anything like that, you can basically clear that area out like you would, except when you're done clearing it, you can change who is going to take over that tower after you've cleared it. So, for instance, behind me there is a tower. We're in Falkreath Hold. It's just a standard tower. There's about 2 or 3 adds, max, maybe 4 enemies inside. We're going to go up and clear out the tower. Hopefully we're going to do it quickly, and hopefully there is only 3 or 4. There's not usually many at the watchtowers. But once we clear it out, we'll have the option to change it. It'll give us different options depending on at what stage of the game you're at. But how this mod becomes more immersive is the fact that if you're playing through the Civil War questline, for instance, if you're playing as, say, the Imperials, as you go through Skyrim clearing out forts and bandit camps, you can then set it so that Imperials take over them camps when you're finished. Obviously this makes it very immersive. The one thing that I can say is a lot of people think these flags at the top are the flags that you change. You do not change these flags. It will be a banner that's inside or just outside the building like this. When you go up, you'll hit claim and hopefully a set of lists will come up. There we go. So now you can see we can set it to the hold that we're in, the Empire or the Stormcloaks. Now for this particular playthrough, I'm going to do a Stormcloak playthrough, so I'm planning on setting all of these as Stormcloaks, so as I go through Skyrim, more and more Stormcloaks would actually be around Skyrim, taking over land as I walk through it, making it more immersive. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Guard's Overhaul mod, so the Guard's Armor Replacer is what I'm going to use. And as you can see, we're in Solitude. Solitude's symbol is the wolf, and you can see his shield has wolves on it and it's a different shape. His armor is also plated steel armor and again has the symbol of Solitude on it. Now all the holds won't have fancy armor like this. Obviously Solitude has fancier, more durable armor if you like, because it is the capital of Skyrim. A lot of money, a lot of guards, and of course the Imperial army is there. You can see the difference now. We've jumped to Falkreath Hold. Again, Falkreath is just a normal hold, and you can see they have some mail, some steel mail, and some plates. That's really about the gist of their armor. But it looks a hell of a lot better than normal Skyrim, where they would just have a cotton tunic and a bed sheet wrapped around it, and each hold would have a different color bed sheet. So obviously that is a lot better. The next big one that we're going to talk about is the combat gameplay overhaul mod. Now this becomes immersive because it also changes the movement and it brings more features to the game. So elements that wouldn't usually be in the game, like dodging or the possibility of changing your grip on a weapon. Hence, what I mean by changing grip on a weapon is that if you have a two-handed weapon, you can choose to use that in one hand. So you can also dual wield anything in the game. So you'd have two-handed weapons or two one-handed, whatever you want. You can also change the damage speed and stationary speed of each weapon. So you can make it that you swing your one-handed sword faster when you're standing still. On top of that, it also brings in dual wield blocking. Now, dual wield blocking was not included in the original Skyrim for God knows what reason. So basically, if you had two swords, you had no way of blocking incoming damage. This mod fixes that and allows you to be able to block as well. It also changes the way NPCs play against you, so you can set it that NPCs will also be able to roll and will also be able to change their grip on their weapon. As you can see, when I run, I can also lean. So my body leans as I go left to right. Like what would happen if you run, like if you run a modern game. Any kind of modern game, when you run, your character will lean left to right. It's just a natural movement. Now, in the original Skyrim, you didn't actually move; your body stayed static. So it's just your legs went left or right, but your whole character frame stayed still, which was weird. So that fixes that. The next thing we're going to talk about is NPCs run and walk at your pace. This is a pet hate of mine, and it's a big immersion mod of mine. Is that when you fight through Helgen and you get to the end, you cannot run or walk at the same pace of either Ralof or Hagvar, depending who you chose to go with. It made no sense to me why that was the case, because basically when I leave, if I walk, the NPCs would walk faster than me, so then I would try lightly jog, but then my jogging would be too fast and they'd be too slow. It made no sense. This mod fixes that, and it's literally called NPCs run and walk at your pace. Obviously now if you're on controller and you have analog sticks, it might be different. You might be able to control the speed that you move at. I don't know, I don't play on console. But on mouse and keyboard it's a big problem, and it breaks a lot of immersion for me throughout the game whenever I have to follow an NPC, as you could imagine. Now the next mod that we're going to talk about is immersive weapons. What immersive weapons does, if you're not aware, now this mod has been around a long time, so I think everybody kind of knows what it is, but anyway, it adds a large variety of weapons to the game that are medieval based and lore friendly. From sabers to cutlasses, broadswords, samurai style swords, katanas, stuff like that. Adds them all to the game, and long reach weapons as well. It also replaces the likes of hunter bows with these Colovian composite bows. They just look better, in my opinion. So a lot of the Imperial soldiers, stuff like that, will have them instead of normal hunting bows. Also, don't worry too much about the damage numbers that you see. I think I'm a level 110 or something like that in the game, so these will be normal damage based weapons. They won't all be like high 50s, high 60s. It also introduced a halberd to the game, which is great. I don't know why that wasn't in the game to begin with, but it's great that they brought it in. They also brought out katanas, normal swords, and stuff like that for the likes of Daedric weapons and Dragonbone weapons, which is really good because I wasn't a big fan of the grey sword in Daedric form. I was at the start, but then it got very stale, so it's nice to have some variety, especially when you've played the game for a while. This Dova is a different mod. It's basically he adds 3 weapons to the game and a shield, and they're Nordic slash Viking themed. They're high resolution, they look really nice, and they have competitive stats, so they're usable. I like them, that's why I have them in the game. But yeah, as you can see, as we go down through the list, there's an endless amount of weapons because they've done, not only have they brought in unique weapons, but they've also made it so that all the other weapons come over. There's a really cool halberd. So yeah, so now ebony weapons will have normal weapons as well that you'd make with iron. It's a nice touch. So I'm gonna put up an image here that just shows you the 5 main gameplay immersive mods that I included in the list. Obviously it doesn't include the 3 kind of UI player based mods, i.e. Sky UI, Immersive HUD and Ordinator perks. But either way, this is the end of the video. as I said at the start, it's just a basic rundown of some immersion mods that I enjoy using, that I think you should try, especially the likes of Lawbringer. I don't see a lot of people talking about Lawbringer, but it fits Skyrim very well, and it seems like something that should have been in the game to begin with. Either way, let me know how I got on. Let me know if there's any mods that I should have added or didn't add, or mods that you like. Either way, let me know. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.